I'm thrilled with the turnout. It is one of the biggest. We've had 5,300 people here, 400 journalists from 70 countries around the world, 1,200 exhibitors. So it's no question about the biggest powwow we've ever had, and it's bigger than, it takes us back to the pre-9/11 days. So I expect big things, and also from Las Vegas. It hasn't been here in Las Vegas for 19 years, and it's a totally different market in Las Vegas than it was 19 years ago, and it'll be a totally different one 5 years from now. So it's I just expect great things, and it's just so important to bringing people to the United States, which is so critical, not just for our economy, but for public diplomacy. When you see people face to face, you see who we really are as a country, and that's so important to our children, to our future, and that's why this industry is much more important than many think it is, and it should get its rightful place in our economy and with our Congress. You cannot go and have dinner with somebody, shop in their restaurants, buy their artwork, meet them personally, and have them as your enemy. On the back of my business card, it says it best. It says right here, "Travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry, and narrow-mindedness" by Mark Twain. It says it all. Several big initiatives. One, we've got to make the number of visa waiver countries, we've got to increase them, make it easier for people to come to the United States. Second, we've got to make it more welcoming when they come to our airports. You can't start off with the first impression of standing on line for 3 hours and being treated rudely. We've got to change that. And most important, we've got to promote America. The Travel Promotion Act, we've got to get that passed, because we spend zero, and every developed country around the world spends hundreds of millions promoting their destination. And until people decide to come to America, it doesn't matter what Marriott or Hilton or United Airlines does, because they'll never get to see them because they never came to America. So it's so critical that we get a Travel Promotion Act and begin promoting and explaining our security policies, which have changed so phenomenally. We don't tell the world about them, and we let the international media, tell the story for us, and it's always not in the most positive way. I think what the media in the U.S. can just share is how critical it is to, our way of life. This is public diplomacy on the cheap. Getting face-to-face people traveling around. Travel and tourism is the number 1 through 3 or 4 economies in every single state. We employ 1 out of every 8 Americans. And the nice thing about travel and tourism is people come visit your destination, they leave their money, they go home. You don't have to build schools for them, you don't have to educate their children, fill their potholes, or feed their homeless. So it's a darling of the U.S. economy and U.S. diplomacy, and we've got to get more people to realize it, and media can tell the story. We've actually been playing with a social networking site, and we think it has a lot of potential, because as you know, being here at Pow Wow, this is a very vocal, congenial, friendly, love to network group. So I think we could do wonders with a social networking site. I love the industry. The only thing I've ever done, I started as a lifeguard with Marriott when they had 6 hotels. I left when they had 3,000 to come to TIA 3 years ago, and it's the only industry where people come to be happy. It's a fun industry. It's got lots of stories. No one comes here to have a bad time. No one goes to a meeting. No one goes on a vacation without having a good time. So it just attracts very outgoing people, and the people in this industry are just phenomenal to be around. They're all outgoing. They all have stories to tell, and that's what I love about the industry. It's one of the great industries where you can start as a waiter, a waitress, a front desk clerk, a chef, a bellman, and go on to become president of a hotel chain or an airline. It's one of the few industries where you can really do those kinds of things. And I say when I grew up, everyone talked about my parents having the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. And what I tell my children, add a 4th R, and that's roaming. If we don't roam around the world is going to pass us by. If we roam around the world, then we'll participate in the world, and our children will thrive.